Hi, this is Carlton, and I'm here today with Theodora Lacey, who's a member of Central Unitarian Church and has been for many years now. Thank you for being willing to have a conversation with me, Theodora. And I know that you were very active in the civil rights movement, even going back to the Montgomery Bus Boycott. Could you share something about that share that with us?
Yes, thank you for asking. I'm originally from Montgomery. I was born there, and I grew up in that very segregated town, and during the worst of the period of segregation. And I got to know Dr. King because my father was president of the Board of Trustees at the Dexter Avenue Baptist Church, and in many ways was responsible for Dr. King coming to Montgomery. And it was natural that we would, as a family, be involved in the movement. Many attempts had been made to end some of the discrimination in Montgomery, but Dr. King seems to have been able to coalesce, so to bring people together. He had such a manner about him, and that he was able to help people to come together to really do something. And so you know about the famous bus boycott with Rosa Parks being arrested, and even though there had been many people arrested and abused on the bus, it was the type of, it was Rosa Parks and her character, I believe, that also helped to bring the people together. And so she was arrested, and subsequently a boycott began. I served as a kind of a gopher during that time. There were meetings every night, boycott meetings every night, and I served as a kind of a typist. I would type releases in the minutes, and I would often follow Dr. King from one destination to the next, because blacks were being arrested for almost any reason. He was arrested one day for loitering, standing at the step of the church. So that those were the.
And then you came up to TNAC, and you had an active role in the integration of the schools here.
Right. The last time I saw Dr. King here, he teased me and my husband about abandoning the South, and I assured him that there was plenty to do here. And TNAC, for example, a lovely town, but only one area in the town was open for blacks to live, and as a result, that particular area became predominantly filled with the schools filled with African Americans. And while there's nothing wrong with an African American school, it had been our experiences that often in the North, services began to change, and schools were increasingly black in our neighborhood. And while we thought that until we learned to live together, the world would not reach its potential. We just would not be the great nation that we could be. So we were concerned about having our schools integrated so that children all over the town could know each other. And we worked very hard at bringing about integration into TNAC, which has really served the community, I think, very well. It was a model, I think, for the country.
For how schools can come.
Right.
And what was distinctive about how things were done in TNAC?
Well, first it was open enrollment, and you could choose to opt out of your neighborhood and go to the predominantly white neighborhood. That did not work. And because we had a superintendent who really had lots of insight, he worked with us, and we came up with a plan and developed what we call a centralized sixth grade school, where sixth graders all over the town had to come into this particular school, and then others could opt out of other schools. That was the beginning of really integrating the town. And there were lots of opposition to it, but then there were more people of goodwill and who saw the value of people of different races and ethnic backgrounds working together, and so it came to be.
Yes. And at what point did you come in contact with Central Unitarian Church?
It was interesting. My husband had received his PhD from Northwestern in Evanston, Illinois. And of course I had grown up in Montgomery, and I had listened to the sermons from the Unitarian Church in Chicago, and he had attended the church. And so we said if we ever had the opportunity there in the area where we could go and really listen, we would. You see, my grandfather on my father's side was Baptist. My grandmother's father was Church of Christ. and they would have some really heated arguments, and I loved both of them, and I thought they were wonderful, and so I was anxious to find something that embraced people of goodwill, and regardless of their religious backgrounds. And so that was the first sermon that we heard George Howard preach was What's Happening in Englewood, because Englewood, New Jersey was going through traumas at the time. We came to hear it and we stayed.
Oh, okay. And what year was that?
That was 1962.
1962. Wow, wow. And how would you say that your connection to Unitarian Universalism has informed your walk or your life since then?
It has had such a great impact on my life. While Dr. King was not Unitarian, he really planted the seed of my understanding, my first introduction of people who were of different religions and different thoughts. He brought that to us because people from all over the country came to embrace the boycott. And so we got to meet people and to know people whom I've never had contact with. And he embraced them, and so that it was really the beginning of that. And it has been a part of my life here. It has helped me to continue the work of Dr. King. The church has been instrumental. In fact, it started here. My husband was honored and given an endowment in its name for racial justice. And so really that was the seed of trying to bring about racial justice in Bergen County.
Right, and I know that you were one of the ones, it was through that fund actually that the Teens Talk About Racism program got going, and that was like more than 10 years ago now.
Absolutely,
and
it is still going strong, and it is amazing to see young people, even though they did not grow up here in segregation, they still live separate lives. And so Teens Talk About Racism has really been an opportunity for them to dialogue and to really continue the work of wanting to live together with people and to understand people of different backgrounds.
Yeah. Well, Theodora, I just thank you so much for the work that you've done, not only in the South, in Montgomery, and supporting Dr. King back then, but also for the work that you've done more recently here in New Jersey, helping integrate the schools some years ago, and then now continuing that legacy forward with Teens Talk About Racism. It's really an honor to have a chance to talk with you and honor you for all of your tremendous service, and thank you for being willing to be interviewed for this project.
Thank you. I'm so grateful that I had the opportunity. I'd like to be younger, but I wouldn't miss that.
Well, you're perfect just the way you are, and thank you again.